Let's continue. I am called Prince because my mother is called Queen, although we dragons have no such titles for ourselves. But dragons being monsters and eating people, that's just a fairy tale thing. Or at least, real dragons only did that a long time ago. And now we all live together peacefully. That's the whole reason you're going to Starlight City, isn't it? To keep the peace between dragons and humans? You're right. And it was a long time ago that I knew Camellia. A different time, more wild, and in many ways more honest. It's true that we no longer eat humans, yet we all remember how you taste. Who could forget? For a dragon, human meat is by far the most delicious, nearly irresistible. And I knew just from her smell that Camellia would taste better than any other. She was a human worth savoring. You smell very much like her, Rosemary. Yeah, I gotta go. I feel very cold inside, and not because of the snow. It's definitely because the dragon that I agreed to lead through the mountain kind of sounded like he just threatened to eat me. Our truce with humans has let us live in peace for many years. Until now. I haven't yet told you the true purpose of our conference, Rosemary. Uh-oh. It is to address the breaking of that truce by one of my kin. A dragon has been eating humans, very many of them. A dragon's occasional slip-up can be overlooked, but this is becoming a crisis for your people. And he is unrepentant. Why would he do that? I can't pretend I don't understand his actions. It's why I've chosen to stay isolated from them for so many years. The mere smell can be overwhelming. He looks right at me as he says this. I take a few steps back. Oh, also I just realized why he stepped away from us after he smelled our hair. As a result of this dragon's actions, our peace agreement may be dismantled. If that happens, our future is uncertain. Even the stars don't seem to know. But you're not like that. You've chosen not to eat humans, so why are you even telling me this? Are you trying to scare me? Even though they are set in that lovely, delicate face, Tyrune's eyes are sharp and fierce. For the first time, I understand fully that I am talking to something ancient, wild, and dangerous. I simply want to know, Rosemary. Do you think I'm telling the truth? Do you believe that I devoured Camellia? Oh, no. I mean, I don't see any motive for him to lie to us about devouring Camellia. And considering his response to smelling our hair, I feel like everything adds up. I don't know why he would lie. I think he is telling the truth. Yes. This will sound silly, but when I look into your eyes, I see something I don't understand. It's like you live in a different world. A crueler world with strange rules. So, yes. I think the story is true. That doesn't sound silly at all. You are a very perceptive young woman. A chill runs down my spine. My intention is not to frighten you, Rosemary. But you deserve to know what kind of creature you travel with. Let's just stop talking about it for now, okay? We still have a long way to go. He says nothing more, which is fine by me. We keep walking. Tyrune's weak human form shivers in the cold, and he holds on to my shoulder for balance. His touch is so soft and light, I can barely feel it. I'm happy to keep him steady. He looks so vulnerable now. It's hard to remember how he made me feel so cold inside. As we walk, I do my best to push those dark thoughts out of my mind.
Could he really have the soul of a monster? I never had to wonder about things like this back on the farm. All I wanted was to be a knight and fight stuff with my sword and not worry about anything. A little while later, we made camp in a cave for the night. We've made good progress so far. It shouldn't take more than another day to get to the city. Tyrune seems exhausted, much more than I would have expected after only a day of travel. His body is shaking again, worse than before. Tyrune, I'm going to make some barley tea. Would you like some? Or are you hungry for dinner?
I do not need to eat, but I will have some tea.
It's kind of scary how worn out he is, but I decide not to mention it. Instead, I pour us some tea and we drink it together. We're silent for a while. I watch him, trying to guess what he's thinking.
You are staring at me.
I'm sorry. I can't help but wonder. Are you not hungry because you ate something else?
I had a large meal of fish before leaving for the city. I didn't mean to imply anything else. My apologies if you were on edge.
Sorry, it's been hard not to think about it is all. So, do you mostly eat fish then?
Yes, they are very large where I live. I like to have deer sometimes when I can get them. I live alone on a rocky island in the sea. It is much warmer there than here.
I feel myself relax. It's nice to talk normally again. Sounds like a nice place. I bet it's pretty.
You might think so. Camellia certainly did.
Camellia, huh? Let's change the subject. What kind of stuff do you do during the day besides, like, feel the magic of the stars and whatnot? Dragon-y stuff? Like counting your gold pile or something?
Oh, yes, of course. I also kidnap a lot of innocent virgins, so you'd better watch yourself, Rosemary.
Who said I was? Shut up!
Huh. There you are. My attempt at joking around. Was it funny?
Yeah, hilarious.
No, I don't have a hoard of treasure. I mostly spend my time thinking, remembering.
Remembering what?
Things that were important to me, or even things that weren't. 2 stags I saw fighting in a forest. A tree felled by lightning. If it happened, if it was real, I remember it. My memory goes back a long time. I don't need much more than that.
Were you really alive before any humans? You said you were born with the stars or something like that.
Dragons themselves have existed since the very beginning. I, myself, am only about 1,000 years old. Yet in dreams, I see the dawn of time, or flashes of my mother's life before me. I wonder if we all don't share the same memory, reaching back to the very first of us.
To be honest, it sounds kind of lonely.
That's just the kind of thing Camellia would say. You know, Rosemary, I thought you were angry at me after what we spoke of before.
No, not angry, just kind of confused? If dragons really love to eat humans so much, is it even safe for me to be here with you?
I really wasn't trying to frighten you. Believe it or not, I like you. That's why I want to make sure you're safe. And you'll be safer with a full understanding of the situation.
Oh, that's really sweet, actually. Do humans really taste that good to you?
It's strange. I remember a time before I had ever seen a human, yet when I am weak and cold, I take this form, which looks like a human, or near enough. Has this face lying dormant inside of me, even before I would have been able to recognize it. Or have our encounters with humans caused us to mimic your form?
It's weird to me that you, of all people, don't have any answers to these questions.
Oh, I don't pretend to understand ancient magic. I just live by it and try to give it some thought now and again. You humans are magnetic, or invasive, to put it another way. We dragons have existed before everything, yet humans have had a profound effect on us, more than any other creature in this world.
You mean, like, because of how we taste to you? I don't think that's what he meant.
Before humans walked the earth, we ate fish and deer, and drank water and breathed air. None of these things questioned our right to consume them. We took what we needed and slept when we were tired. Sometimes we fought each other, but all disputes were eventually settled by the will of the stars. But when humans arrived, you spoke and felt as we did. You wept and beggared or tried to reason for your lives. Despite all appearances, you seemed to be closer in spirit to dragons than you were to the beasts of the earth. Before humans, a dragon's actions were never right or wrong. But now, we wondered if eating a human was evil. The stars were curiously silent on the subject. You might say that humans brought evil into our world. Perhaps the temptation to do wrong is what makes you so delicious to us dragons.
What do you think?
I don't know. I think that terms like good and evil are very limited ways to describe the world.
That doesn't make me feel any better.
It wasn't meant to.
You know, it's kind of strange when I hear you talk like that. Okay, we can either say I feel excited or I feel confused. This is a virtual novel dating sim, so I'm so excited! It makes my heart beat faster.
Are you sure that isn't just fear?
Oh, sure, it's scary, but it's not just that. I left my home, which was cozy and safe, to try and be a knight. I want to live by my sword and my wits, to fight stuff and get strong.
You are already strong.
Okay, stronger. Sure, I want to be a knight so I can do good things and protect people. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't love the thrill of it. Fighting beasts 10 times my size and going places I've never gone before and staring death in its stupid face. It sounds like that's the kind of world you live in. Makes me wish I were a dragon too.
I'm surprised you would say such a thing. You seem so sweet and kind-hearted to me.
Yeah, well, that's how you look to me. Looks can be deceiving. I mean, I'm not totally serious. Of course, I don't really want to stop being a human or anything like that. But, wow. I don't know how to describe this feeling. You live by strength, take what you need, and don't care about anything else. You're so lucky.
I am very tired. Will you help me take off my robe so I may sleep?
Oh, sure? Oh, we're alone in a cave, and he wants us to take off his robe. This is getting a little saucy. My hands are trembling. Slowly, carefully, I peel off his robes layer by layer. I try not to, but when I let my eyes drift to his face, I see him watching me. I feel warm all over. The more robes come off, the more I can feel his body, and the more my hands feel rough and clumsy dealing with his delicate frame. Underneath his winter layers, he is long and slender. His scales run over his chest and arms. I really want to touch and see what they feel like. But, of course, I never would. He falls asleep quickly, but I lie awake for a little while, watching his slim chest rise and fall. I don't want to take my eyes off of him, but I don't know if it's out of fear or some other feeling that's harder to describe. We set out again at sunrise. I feel refreshed and a little more calm. Hyrule, however, is still weakened and exhausted. Do you need extra help walking today?
No, I'll find my footing, but it is kind of you to ask.
He stays close to me as we start down the path.
We spoke a great deal about me and my kind yesterday. What about you? I feel I hardly know anything about you.
Gosh, I'm not sure what to say. Do you really want to know about me?
I told you, I don't kid around. Remember, my attempt last night didn't go over very well?
No, it did not. Good point. Well, let's see. I grew up on a farm with my parents and my brothers and sisters. As you know, I left home to be a knight. It hasn't worked out so well, but I'm trying.
Ah, a brave and chivalrous knight. I've come across a few of those in my time. You wanted to slay monsters, did you?
I guess you could say that.
What else? What sorts of things do you like?
Swords, songs, or flowers? I like swords. I guess it goes without saying that I like swords. I've been practicing with them since I was a little girl. I'm pretty good now. I like reading about swords too, not just using them. Every place I go, I try to learn about the weapons and tools they use there. There's so many different kinds from all the different kingdoms in the world. Like, you can tell I'm from the farmlands in the North Country because our fighters always use great swords like mine. Even tiny things like that, they all tell a little story about you. I find that comforting, I guess. Sorry, I hope that wasn't too boring.
Not at all. You little ones have such short lives. You search for meaning in every detail. I've always found it interesting, the way you collect sentimental trinkets and decorate your homes.
I never thought of it like that, I guess. You don't decorate your lair at all?
Oh yes, of course. I have a lovely armchair and a floral rug in the southern corner of my cave.
You should definitely go back to not telling jokes.
If you say so. And you don't have a lover?
What? What makes you say that?
It's just a guess, although an educated one. Do you?
No. What about you?
Not since Camellia.
So you're single? Camellia, it's so strange to think that she was a real person. Someone you actually knew. She must have been really pretty.
She wasn't, actually. She was certainly not the most beautiful woman of any village as your fairy tale described. Nor, frankly, the smartest or even the most kind-hearted. But she had a way about her. It made you feel like she was the most important woman in the world, and you would do anything just to make her happy. You remind me of her in some ways.
Oh, thank you. Although I'm not sure that was supposed to be a compliment. And also, he's talking about someone he might have eaten alive. Yeah, that's a little scary. Yet those don't sound like the words of the person who killed her. Or do they? He hasn't actually said he did it, but he hasn't denied it either. He keeps talking about the ancient ways of dragons and good and evil and stuff. What do I know about things like this anyway? Is love always this complicated? He says nothing more, and we keep walking. The wind is colder today, the sky clouded over. This journey has been easier than I expected, but Mount Needle may still earn its reputation. We come to a rushing river and find the wreckage of the bridge I'd intended us to cross. Uh-oh. It's also the only bridge around for miles. Great! Well, excuse my language, but this is a bit of a pickle. Absolutely not, Rosemary. How dare you say pickle?
In my true form, I could step right across a river like this.
And that's definitely not an option?
No, even maintaining this useless shape is exhausting in the cold.
Then I'll just have to carry you across.
Is that entirely necessary.
Oh my god, is he blushing a little? I think he's blushing some. We could walk along the bank and hope we find another bridge, but that might take hours, and we don't even know if there is one. You want to get to the city quickly, right?
You'll get wet, and so will our supplies.
We can make a fire and dry up. And anyway, I came prepared for this kind of thing. The supplies are wrapped up and waterproof.
Very well.
Tyrune draws close to me. I put my arms around his waist and lift. Even with his piles of robes, he's shockingly light. He puts his arms around my shoulders. I can feel his skin brush for just a moment against my face. Even his scales are light and soft. It's easy to lift him high enough that the water won't touch him. This will be a piece of cake, I hope. Okay, this is so cute. Carefully, I step into the rushing water. The current is strong, but the river isn't too deep or even all that far across. I'm getting Oregon Trail flashbacks. Ideally, I throw a rope across to try and steady us, but I can't do that while I'm carrying him at the same time. Tyrune says nothing, but I feel him shiver in my arms. I can do this. Don't worry.
I trust you, Rosemary.
His body shakes, but his voice is steady. Maybe he really does trust me. I guess I have to trust him too. We start across the river. I take it one step at a time, carefully seeking out good footing so we don't slip. The freezing water rushes around my legs, but I keep my balance. I can feel Tyrune holding tight. I won't let him fall. Midway across, the water's up to my chest, but I think that's as high as it will go. We're in good shape. I'm holding Tyrune steadily out of the water. We're almost there. Just a little more. All of a sudden, the wind begins to shriek. Tyrune's long hair whips into my face and eyes, and the freezing water froths around us. A blanket of black clouds overtakes the sky. That's all the warning we get, and suddenly the snow crashes down in thick, suffocating sheets. This awful mountain is known for its sudden violent storms that come and go in the blink of an eye. I should have known the weather was way too good to be true.
Rosemary!
Don't worry, I've got you! A blast of snow hits me like a cannonball. I fall. Tyrune tumbles into the river and disappears into the freezing foam. It happens so quickly it hardly registers. No! No! I won't let this happen. I can't let this happen. I'm a knight. I will protect my prince. My hand finds a jutting rock and grabs hold. I pull myself up out of the water and try to make sense of what's happening. My body aches with cold, but every ounce of my strength is dedicated to keeping myself focused. A flash of a scaly arm breaks out of the water ahead, desperately grasping the air. Still close enough that I can reach him. Tyrune, hold on! I'm coming! The wind screams. The river roars around me. I block it all out and lunge forward, grabbing hold of Tyrune and dragging his body up out of the water. I have no idea how long it takes to make it to the other side. I'm giving everything I have just to hold us together. Tyrune is heavy in my arms, soaking wet and freezing, but I hold on tight. I'll never let go of him again. We make it out of the river. The snow is heavier than I've ever seen. Tyrune looks diminished, pale. His body is shaking violently. I'm scared.
You saved me.
Are you kidding? I'm the one who put you in danger!
No, it was the river that almost killed me. It would have if not for you.
My eyes burn with tears. No, there's no time to cry. We won't be safe until I get us somewhere warm. I go to my pack for supplies, but it was ripped apart in the jagged rocks when I fell. Our food, tents, medicine, and clothes, everything we need to make a fire for the night, all lost to the river. My heart plummets. The only thing left is one thick winter cloak, wrapped in sealskin to keep it dry. The cold pounds away at me like a hammer, but Tyrune looks much worse.
You wear the cloak, Rosemary. You need your strength to save us both.
How could you even suggest that? Tyrune, you're already sensitive to the cold. You look like you're about to...
I am much older than you. I have lived through worse than this.
But his voice fades even as he says the words. Wear the cloak yourself or give him the cloak. I'm giving him the cloak. I wrap the cloak around Tyrune and start moving again. The snow is like knives sliding through my armor and into my skin. I ignore the pain and carry him as fast as I can. Barely aware of what I'm doing, I manage to find a small cave in the cliffside. I pull us into it. It's cold, but dry. I set Tyrune down gently, and then my legs collapse out from under me. I'm on the ground. Did I hit my head? I can't remember. Huh. That's strange. I thought I felt fine, but now it's all catching up to me at once. My head swims. My body aches with a cold so sharp it almost burns. I'm fading, but it's okay. No matter what happens to me, at least I kept him safe. That's what a real knight would have done.
Is this the end for our brave knight, Rosemary? Find out next time in the thrilling